So, welcome to another Wardy's Waffle, and I hope you enjoyed the Wednesday midweek one that will become a regular feature at the moment while we're busy. Anyway, this week we've had some great news from DEFRA regarding the farming rules for water, and that they are finally allowing the spreading of organic manures, sewage sludge, crew yard manures and things like that in the autumn, which is obviously the right time of year to do it when we can incorporate it on heavy land. So common sense has prevailed at last, and thank you to NFU, CLA and all the organisations and DEFRA for getting stuck into this, because it is the right decision. So that's really, really good news. Also, some of you will know that I have had a German Shepherd in the past, and I said goodbye to her virtually a year ago now, March the 19th. I put her to sleep. She had cancer. She's buried here, just behind me here with Rhonda's Labrador, Bonnie. Lovely resting place, and I miss her greatly, and I still do. But the time has now come to give another dog the life that Tara had. I'll never get over Tara. She was the most incredible loyal companion, as German Shepherds are, and in fact any pets are that you have. But incredible dog shepherds are. And it's now time to get another one, and I'll be getting that one imminently, so you'll be seeing that soon, but not in this week's update. And looking ahead to our drilling day, we're also going to be having a little bit of an insight more into that, and also Ukraine. You remember last week that I had some donations go towards the or over to Poland and to Ukraine, thanks to a lot of local people around Newark and Lincoln and Nottinghamshire. And you did see, I think you saw a video last week of that lorry leaving here and going across. Well, I've got a few little clips of that being unloaded in Poland and then reloading again to Ukraine, and I've got a clip also of the lorry that was reloaded, and somebody who was actually thanking. It is all translated, but it's in Ukraine, and thanking for the donation. So I've got a clip of that as well. And I must say as well, some of you will have seen the most horrendous destruction on a dairy farm in Ukraine, where a bomb or must have dropped on it, or some Russian soldiers must have just gone into this farm, because there's cattle walking around outside the yards, and it's just horrendous sights. And this is it's just catastrophic. You cannot believe what's going on out there and how people must feel. Anyway, so on to this week's really updating proper. We finish our sugar beet planting this week, and I'm going to give a full run through of the sugar beet machine. I've got to look at that and how it works, and some videos from inside the cab as well. And also I've had a few people ask me about neonics, and also would I give a bit of an overview on neonics. So I'm going to do that as well. And also we'll look at rolling. I was on the rolls myself this week before the rain came to get some of the spring drilling done. We've only got one 20-acre field of spring barley to put in, which are Agri's trial plots, plus obviously the rest of the field's our own. And then there's the 46-acre field where we're going to have our open day this coming Wednesday, which, please, I hope you enjoy that if you come. And also, lastly, I bought a new £5,000 moisture meter this week, and we have a quick look at that. Anyway, without any more from me, let's crack on to this week's update. Hope you enjoy it. Please click like and subscribe, and the bell sound to alert you when I post any videos, and come back with any questions, and here we go.
Wait a second. One more color.
Te transporterki od razu draznie. No, bo to nie ma sensu, słuchajcie, żeby dwa razy...
Adrian, to odsłon na zewnątrz.
Na zewnątrz, od razu, dwa razy nie będzie...
Ja wezmę. Ale to... This is all poultry stuff.
Mam na imię Igor, jestem ukraińskim biznesmenem, reprezentuję kompanię Denmark. 36 dni temu byliśmy szczęśliwi razem ze swoimi rodzinami, żonami, dzieckiem i coś poszło nie tak. Od razu przyjąłem decyzję zostać w Ukrainie i dopomagać ludziom, які zostały tutaj w Ukrainie, i naszym wojakom, які jest teraz na froncie. Oni bardzo potrzebują dopomogi jak nigdy. Dziękujemy Państwu wszystkim Polakom, polskim ludziom, jak i teraz i wszystkie 36 dni razem z nami. Różny sposób był допомоги. Ktoś dzwonił, ktoś pisał, ktoś nadsyłał dopomogę i takiej pomocy było bardzo dużo. Ukraińcy teraz objednani jak nigdy, jesteśmy wszyscy razem i chcemy jak najszybciej otrzymać peremogę. Chcemy, żeby był mir w Ukrainie i spokój. Dziękuję każdemu Polakom. Ważne teraz, że jesteście z nami i nie stoicie ostoron tej dużej problemy, tej wojny, jaka teraz jest w Ukrainie. Dziękuję każdemu. Dziękuję bardzo. Każda taka zakup na wagę złota, adже podczas wojennych дій українські przedsiębiorstwa, producenty nie pracują i kupić coś takiego z jedzenia bardzo ciężko w Ukrainie, dlatego kupujemy dużo tego za kordonem, w polskim terenie i innych krajach. Dużo potrzebujemy dla cywilnych ludzi jedzenia, dla wojskowych ludzi to jest amunicja i narzędzia wojskowe. To jest pick-upy, busy dla wojskowych, też kamery. Ja obiecuję, w najszybszym czasie dam wam dobre nowiny. My będziemy silni. My wygramy tę bitwę. Światło pokona ciemność. Razem do перемоги. Dziękuję bardzo.
So the drilling of Beet is going quite well. It's one of our heavier fields. We've got this new contractor arrived for the first time this year with this 18-row trailed Vardostat Tempo. Nice and steady, doing a really good job. You can see all the units bobbing up and down, putting the seed in. That one unit raised, that's one of the tramline units, so that isn't actually putting seed in the ground, so it won't be leaving a mark. So we'll see where to drive the sprayer when we actually come to spray and put fertilizer on. So looking at the two lots of seed, that's this year's neonic treated seed and that's last year's that's not. See the difference in colour? That's a green, and then this year's neonic treated seed is blue. We've only got the rest of this field to finish, so probably maybe 7 or 8 hectares, so 20 acres, and that's it. There's the seed in the bottom. Ed's just putting a little bit in, we don't want too much in for when he leaves here and goes to another farm. So Ed, looking at the screen, just explain if you would on those figures, start at the top, what they all say.
Up here,
Yep.
that's how many hectares we've done in this field.
Right, and it's about 13.5 hectares.
That's the air pressure that's in the units.
Yep.
That's the hydraulic pressure that's in the wings and the hydraulic rams that are putting the pressure on each unit. Tram lines, we're on about 13 out of 32.
Yep.
We're on 160 mil spacing.
That's
seed spacing.
Yeah, so that's seed spacing in the row.
Yeah, and we're not putting any fertiliser on.
Right, that's that one, right, okay. And then the line at the bottom, that line in the middle.
Yeah, that line in the middle, that's so above the line is doubles, percentage of doubles, and below the line is percentage of misses.
So the line is really spot on. It's the sort of the
Yeah.
standard line.
Yeah,
if you like,
so
right.
you can see we've just got 1 or 2 misses. The next line is 4%.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're not too bad. We're fairly close to zero most of the time.
yeah, yeah. And then at the bottom, what the little
So that's be 1 to 18 rows. We've got 9 and row 9 and 13. They're tram lining at the minute. And then you'll see when you get in the overlaps as you pull into the headland,
Yeah.
these will gradually each one will just knock itself off.
right? Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned about hydraulic pressure.
Yeah.
What have you got on? Obviously, you can put more pressure on them because we've got the soil conditions here, which is quite heavy. It needs a fair lot of pressure on to keep the seed in
Yeah,
the
so
ground.
at the minute you've got the weight of the unit itself, and we're also adding 100 kilos to it as well, to each one.
100 kilos of hydraulic pressure.
Yeah.
And what can you go up to?
I think it's 150. Yeah, 150.
Yeah, 150 is the most. Right. Yeah. Oh, right. That's interesting. So that's good. And where would you normally be? Is it
nice going. Like some of the stuff we did yesterday.
Yeah.
We're only on 35, 40.
Right, got you. Yeah, yeah. And then here's your tractor GPS screen that shows you about. And you can just see next to that white line there's another little grey line. That's because it's tram lining at the minute. So yeah, and that's the view from the camp. Got GPS on the drill at the back, and you find that's a big improvement.
Yeah, massive improvement.
Is it?
Having the receiver on the tractor, yeah.
Yeah. Just checking the seed spacing here, and we set it in millimetres or centimetres in the cab, as you've just seen. And on the headlands on the outside of the fields, we tend to put it a little bit closer. So we're 16 centimetres here on the outsides, which is round about, I think, 6 inches, 6¼ inch spacing. And then when we get going up and down the field, we'll widen it a little bit because it's normally a bit better conditions to 16.5 or even 17 centimetres. Here's the seed. I've found the one there. You can just see how wide apart they are. There's my knife that I use, a little bit more. So normally if you open your fingers out, it's about that spacing. So you can see there, one there, another one there, and I'll just see if I can find this one. So much easier with a knife. There we go. You can just see there, that's the one there. So that's the spacing roughly in the row, and it's great with coloured seed like this, you can easily see it. One or two last points about our direct drilling open day that is this Wednesday. This is the field we're going to be working in, the 46-acre field, undisturbed clay soil, 50% clay soil. You can see the volunteers that have been sprayed off. The field was straw harrowed twice last autumn, once in the summer, once in the autumn. So the drills we've got running, our Simba Free Flow is plot 1, which is going to be the first one to compare to. We have then got the Horse Avatar, Dale Eco, Horizon DSX, Amazon Cayena, Weaving Sabre Time, Sumo DTS, the Claydon, the Sky Easy Drill, and a Simtech T-Sem. So they're the 10 drills that's going to be running, with a few little trade stands here as well. Please do come up and say hello and have a word. Some of you I know, some of you I won't. Just remember, please, as well, that it is not at the farm. Some of you know where my farm is and where the farmyard is, the main farmyard on the A17. It is not at that yard. So please, please do not go to that yard, because it is about a mile away from there. The what 3 words location of the field is on the invitation, and if you've registered, you will have been sent it. This is where the field is, on the side of a minor road. You see a car coming past now. The A17 is just behind me. So please, please do not go to the main farmyard, because if you do, there'll be nobody there. Everybody will be down here on this field. So hope you have a great day. I am thinking of doing a live stream video on YouTube for those of you who can't come. If you'd like that, please just reply to this message below and ask me, and I'll try and do that on the day. I will be obviously very busy, but I think it'd be good to try and get that out, and just for those of you who can't come. Omex have just arrived with another tank full of fertilizer. I think there's probably 27,000 litres here. Morning, yeah, that's it. How many litres have you brought? 27,000? No, 22,000.
Yeah, 28 tonnes.
So I'm just zooming
So
from.
you're up to just over 45 now.
Oh, you can. You maybe won't see in the camera, but yeah, just above that 45 mark.
Yeah,
right, great, brilliant.
You've got room for about 3,000 in there.
Yeah,
That one's empty.
that's empty. So
that'll take 2.
yeah, I've got 2 ordered. So
Yeah.
brilliant, thank you.
And I think that one's.
There's a little bit. Yeah, you can see that's above the 35 mark. You
Yeah.
can just see the shadow
That'll take
on
5,
there. Yeah, it will.
10, 14,
Yeah,
17.
17.
You get 3 loads.
How are you? So I'm with Dave, who's brought this load of fertiliser for us.
Yeah.
We've got the tanks here behind us. We can see. You can't quite see the lines of where we are, but that tank is empty. That one that Dave's just put in is above the 45 mark. We'll have a look at that in a second. Then that one will hold a bit as well. So Dave, how many loads are you doing to this today?
Well, I reckon you'll get another 3 loads in today.
Right.
That's whether Mark's booked you for
Yeah.
any more loads today.
Well, I know
or
I've
not.
got 2 ordered, but whether they'll come today or not, I don't know. But of yourself, is this your first one today?
This is my first one today.
And where have
yeah.
you fetched this from?
From Immingham.
Right. So what's that? About an hour and a half from here? Bit more.
About hour and a quarter, hour and a half.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And then what's your next load? You're not
My
sure
next
yet.
load is sulphur up to Immingham.
Right. And
So
collected from Bardney.
I've got to go into Bardney and collect that. That's
So
about an
Bardney
hour
is
away from here.
So yeah, Bardney from here. 40 minutes,
Yeah,
30,
yeah.
40 minutes from here, which is Omex's main head office, is it? I think
Yeah,
it is, isn't
that's
it?
it, yeah.
And then that's going up to where? Up to?
Immingham.
And what are you doing with it up there?
I put it in a tank up at Immingham.
Yeah.
And then when they load out like 24% or something with sulphur,
Yeah.
then they take a bit of the sulphur into it to mix it to make sure it's the right product.
Brilliant, got you, great.
It's all computerised. We
Yeah.
don't have to do the calculation.
No. That's brilliant, great. Lovely, thanks Dave. Looking inside one of these units, Ed, that's where the cell wheel is in there, is it?
Yep.
So that, the seed's picked up,
Yeah, other side of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so as it goes round, so it's, is that where it's dropping out? That's where it's dropping
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
so it drops down there into the ground,
Yeah.
through there, and that's the electronic sensor, so that's
Yeah.
what you
That's
say.
counting every seed.
Yeah, so if you run out of seed, then
Yeah.
it knows.
Yep. Yeah, or if for some reason it's doing a lot of misses,
Yeah,
it knows.
and then so the air's coming through here,
Yeah.
and then presses the seed against the
Yeah.
there. And then the excess air comes out there.
Yep. Actually, knockout wheel, we call it, just to make sure there's nothing.
Oh, that goes round and coincides with the holes and pushes
Yeah.
the seed out.
Yeah.
So that pushes the seed out and then drops it. So there's none left in the cell wheel for when it goes round the second time.
3 off at a
So,
time.
so the
not
fertiliser
singly.
tank there, we've got, what are these then?
They're electric motors doing there's 6 on it, doing 3 rows each.
3 rows each. So you've got 3 that side and 3 the other side.
Yeah.
And that's the row numbers then that it's doing.
That's it, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and here's the row numbers. These are numbered. There, you can see they've got numbers on. Right up to 18. So these are when it's up in the air, you can see like that. So that's the hole where the seed comes out. These 2 discs going around create the slot in the ground, and that's where you saw in the cab a few minutes ago you put the pressure on to create the slot when the conditions aren't brilliant. Then the seed drops out through there, then that's the press wheel, which again can be altered tension on with a spring, and that just pushes the seed into the salt, into the moisture. And then these rear wheels, just you can alter the angle of them by that bracket that just up the top, up there, and then that just covers the soil over the slot, because sometimes in exceptional situations you'll get this slot maybe a little bit open. So those with these little knobbles on the tyres does just move a little bit of soil into the row. And then if you're on fertiliser, which we haven't put any on, that's where the fertiliser comes out there in front, and then that's putting it just at the side of where the seed is. And then what are these star wheels for, Ed?
Road cleaners, if you want to get straw out of the way or stones or
Yeah, right. And then
lift it up.
right, yeah, and that's it. Just driving down one of our farm tracks at the back of the yard. Just see Jason's here putting the boards out for some more sewage sludge deliveries. So you've seen these plastic panels before. They're really good because they just hold the weight of the lorry. You can see by that one there putting it down. And Jason's expert on the controls. we got one on? Yep. There we go. We've got some locking pins in. Just fasten them together. Job done. The drilling's going really well, so I'm out on the rolls at the minute. Got rain forecast tomorrow, which is Thursday. No, actually it's Wednesday tomorrow. So we've got rain forecast tomorrow, so I want to try and get some of these oats rolled, and also some of the beet land. So I'll just turn the camera around and show these Dalbo 12 metre rolls unfolding. So that's what they're like folded up, really neat. So just put a few revs on. We have to lift them off the stops there. Like that. Both sides go out together. Like that. And both those out. And then the roll. Like that. Go. Like that, and then just through, if you can quite see, there's a rubber damper block, that black rubber block, that needs to just be off. I've just had to phone Ruben to get the GPS screen set up and change fields, and it's great here because we've got all work rate, fuel use and everything, and just get onto the line. That's it, locked on. You can see the wheels turning themselves. The reason we roll is to conserve the moisture and crush some of the lumps that are around and help the seed germinate a bit better, but also it's for weed control, because on these are oats, we actually do apply a pre-emergent herbicide, and if you have a fine level surface for the herbicide to actually work on and break some of the lumps up, you get a better result. So that's another reason. So there's a few reasons why we roll, and normally I always like to roll at no more than 8 kilometers an hour, so quite steady, but at the minute we've got a lot to do before the rain tomorrow, so I'm going a little bit faster. You can see there I'm going 9.3 kilometers an hour at the minute, and then just when I get to the end of the fields, we can set it on this Case Puma tractor just by pressing these buttons to drop it down, and you can change the speed where you want to be by that roller button there. And you can see if I turn that now, I can just see I'm altering that speed simply by just rotating that. But I'll put it back to about 9.5. That's a good speed, and it normally, I mean, this is quite good conditions there, so you can go a little bit faster. It's when it's hard and rough and dry that you need to go a little bit steadier to make sure the rolls do a job. I hate seeing the rolls going that fast down the field. They're bouncing up and down all over the place. This is where the GPS is really good. I'm not holding onto the steering wheel. The rolls are just hugging the corner of the grass margin there, and the tractor's just steering nicely round. That's bleeping to tell me I'm nearly at the end of the field, and I am, because the road is there. So looking at the rolls outside, you can see here we have what we call breaker rings on, and these are loose inside the other rings and they sit a bit proud, and these actually break some of the lumps in the ground. You can see here they've broken that lump there, it's a bit darker, and that's what does a lot of the consolidation job. And they're moving all inside these, and actually also you can roll when it's a little bit tacky, and because these move about, it stops the rolls from bunging up too much, but you're still really best doing it when it's dry. But this is the effect they give. So that is the rolls there where it's rolled it, and looking across there, that is when it's not done. So you can see it's a big difference really, and it just, all these lumps here, it just pushes and firms them in, and there you are, there's the surface, a lot leveler and better for the sprays to work, and germination, everything. Another benefit of the rolling as well, if you've got quite a lot of stones in the field, some people have, the rolls actually push the stones into the soil, and then at harvest time you're not getting the stones in the combine, so that's another benefit of rolling. Rhonda's just brought me some supper because I'm hopefully going to keep going here, rolling here, well, probably 10 o'clock or midnight to get some done. I can move before it's dark, that's what I do with these dual wheels on, because I need an escort and you can't move things as wide as this when it's dark. And there's Ruben putting a pre-emergent spray on the oats, and that's just a simple spray of diflufenican, or Hurricane is the brand name. You can see the nozzles, forward and back nozzles, giving really good coverage. Sun's just starting to set. Back up to the heath now, where we've been tipping sewage sludge, and the field you saw in last week's update, the stockpile is now finished, and I'm just walking down the area where the trackway was. You see where those plastic panels were, and here is the heap. There is Frankie, don't eat that, come here, good girl. There's about 490 tons here, and that will be going on this field this next year, end of the year, because this field after this winter wheat is coming sugar beet next year. So we're now in the field next door to the other pile. There's going to be around 500 tons here. This is in the field that we had cover crop and sheep, and we direct drilled it with oats, if you remember. So this is coming wheat next year. So it's great that we can use this product because it saves the nitrogen application. And actually looking at these oats, they're just coming through the ground. You can just see there, got some sprigs coming through there, some more there, so they're just germinating. They've been in a bit over 2 weeks, I think, from memory. If you look down there, you can just actually see the rows growing in there. And this is coming wheat next year, so because the oats is like what we call a white straw break crop, the following wheat won't need so much nitrogen because of the oats, but because we've got the sewage sludge there, that will also save us another 25 kilograms of nitrogen, as well as the oats, what the oat residue will leave us for nitrogen. So it'll actually mean if nitrogen is still £1,000 a tonne, that sewage sludge there will mean we can actually still plant wheat in this field, and it'd be viable to grow it with the costs of where we are with fuel over £1 per litre, and also the fertilizer at £1,000 a tonne. But just looking across this field, it's free draining land, as you've seen, lots of stone, but here's the cover crop residue dying, which is great. That's the glyphosate working, so it's done a really good job. So yeah, looking good at the minute. So it's Thursday morning, pull back the curtains, got a bit of a shock. We've got the old white stuff here, and just reminds me, going back to 2013, that's when I started Forage Aid, when some areas in Cumbria, Wales got huge amounts of snow at the end of March. They didn't just get a bit of a dusting like I've got here, they got something like 10 feet plus of snow. And I made some great friends since then, and I hope my friends and colleagues in that area and the hills haven't had a repeat of that year and have only got the same amount we've got now. Frankie enjoying the snow. Come on then. She has seen it before. Last year we got some. Come on, Frankie, come on. Good clip of this field and cultivation and drilling angles. Listen to that, skylarks. People say there isn't any wildlife in the countryside. I don't think they visit the countryside enough. Anyway, looking at that, those thin lines are from the rolls. Tom managed to get this sugar beet field rolled yesterday morning before the shower of rain. I didn't get a video because I was doing something else. And that's the line of the drilling and the rolling. That's the line of the cultivation, so you can see how we do it at a slightly different angle. And the sugar beet, when it's harvested, will come on this sugar beet pad here. We extended this. You can see the line here. But we extended this about 3 years ago. That's the line. So we've got a lot bigger area. Put concrete panels around the outside. Spent about £25,000 on this. We're completely redoing this, and it's really good for storing. We can get probably 30 acres of sugar beet on here, 35 acres, which that field is 32 acres. So we should go on here when we harvest it in September. Just next to this field, just wanted to show you a field of spring beans, how level the headlands and the outsides are. We plant those last. This field was planted only 2 days ago. We haven't got it rolled yet. Hopefully we should get it done in the next couple of days. The forecast is dry, and but yeah, they've gone in really well as well. Got a new moisture meter arrived. Ben from Farm Tech, which are just north of York, has brought this meter. We'll have a look at the it's just warming up now and starting up. It's a just warming up now, but it's Dickie John machine, round about £5,000, but it should be make our combining operation much better, because we won't be combining when the moisture's not fit, and we'll get a more accurate sample than the Sinar that we've been using in the past.
So from the main menu there, the menu you'll be using is the Analyze menu, which opens up the products. On the screen there, it always displays the last 4 products that have been used on the machine in the order of popularity. So if you used wheat last, it's always at the top. If you'd used barley, it's second.
Yeah.
So the last 4 you've used are always on the screen.
That's useful.
The extra calibrations are on the more screen. Just press more, and then you've got the other calibrations that aren't, that you can select.
Yeah.
So you've got your other things on there: oats, peas, rapeseed, rye, triticale, that kind of thing. Wheat's there at the bottom. So other things are on there. So if you can't find a product, just jump onto that menu.
Right.
But when you're on the menu, just choose what you want to test.
Got to check this barley sample, Weybridge ticket number there, which corresponds there, and the moisture of that is 14.3. So we'll see what that turns out. .5% out. That's a bit crazy, because that's 14.88, yet if this barley went off farm after the end of October, it would need to be at the maltsters under 14%, but the minute it gets to the maltsters, they wet it to start the brewing process to steep it, so it's a bit crazy. Well, that's it for this week's update. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and for following, and for the questions. I enjoy answering all of them, and we'll see some of you on Wednesday. Do come up and say hello, and hope you have a cracking day and enjoy it.